Lacey Everett here with Minds in Motion. Today's guest is Jonah Almanzar. Jonah is a professional dancer and an impeccable dance teacher who is so needed in this world because he teaches to encourage and not punish. He is signed with Bloc LA dance agency, and he's worked at Disneyland and all of their parades and much more. So I'm so grateful that we get to talk to Jonah and learn from him today. Also, if you have not subscribed to the Minds in Motion YouTube channel, please do so right now. You can pause this video, go ahead over there, subscribe, press the button. It's free, easy. He's going to talk to us about his dance teaching methods and give us some dance tips and tricks, as well as how to get high jumps and how to improve leaps. All right, let's go meet Jonah. Hi, Jonah.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, I am so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you too, and I'm so glad that we can make this happen.
Yes. Oh, the dancers are going to love these tips. Your dance tips and tricks, because you have the most phenomenal technique and you are a
Oh,
professional dance teacher and professional dancer. There's a lot of questions about how to get high jumps and how to improve leaps. Overall dance tips and tricks that you have. Anything, all under the sun. What do you have?
okay, I'll start with, so like you said, I do teach a lot, so it's one of my favorite things to do. One thing that I really like to make sure all my students, all my kids really think about when they're dancing, is something that a lot of people usually forget. It's mainly about where your focus is with your eyes, and I guess where you're looking, which seems like, okay, that's not going to help me with my jumps, my turns, but it actually makes your dancing a lot cleaner, and it also really lets your dancing be accessible to people watching you. So like in my opinion, I feel like the best way you connect to people is when you're really like looking at them, talking to them, interacting with them. And so that has a lot to do with your eyes, and so if someone is maybe dancing not really sure of where they're looking, kind of glazed over and going through the motions, it kind of feels a little bit off-putting as an audience, and you might not even know why. But if someone really knows where they're looking, they're using their eyes, or even if they choose to like make eye contact with you or connect with you, you automatically feel like you're being brought into the experience. You feel like you can relate to them, and you just feel more comfortable and at ease watching. So I think that that is one of the biggest thing that it doesn't even require, sorry, that much training, like technique wise. It's just being conscious of it and really being careful and with intention moving through whatever it is that you're doing.
Really powerful tool to have. I can understand that because it's so true. When you're dancing and they're looking at you and there's that eye contact, it makes a big difference because you're now in their story with them.
Hmm.
It's like once they got you for the rest of it.
Exactly. Once you make that connection, you pull them in, then they're going to be with you for the rest of the performance. I totally agree with that. And then I teach a lot of I teach at studios, I teach at a high school, mainly ages like anywhere from like 8 to 18, and I teach some like I guess adult classes too. Um but mainly for my students ages like 8 to 18, the main focus, like actual technical elements that they struggle with a lot, is their arm placement. For some reason,
Mhm.
it's the weirdest thing because I can put them in the right position, I can make them do arm pulses, strengthening exercises, but when it comes to implement it into actual movement, it's really hard to feel where your arms are in space and in relation to the rest of your body, because they're kind of long extremities and limbs, so it's a lot to control. um, so I really try to let my dancers know that they should be pushing down into their backs, like from their shoulders, whenever they're performing like technical elements, because that just keeps your body weight more centered on your spine. If your arms are loose, they can pull you different ways, so you got to press them down into your back, and from there you just have lots more control over any of your movements because you don't have your arms flinging around, um, pulling you off your center. It'll keep you more aligned, and you'll be able to control where your weight is easier.
Just being conscious of noticing your arm placements and how it actually comes through the back, like you
Yeah.
mentioned. A lot of us don't really know that.
I just love teaching technique. It's one of my favorite things. As
Great.
far as jumping goes, jumping's my
Yes.
favorite to teach because these kids, they just love to like give it their all. Like they go 100%, which I totally love. But sometimes that involves a little bit of leaning forward, like when they're about to jump off with their torso, because they're getting ready to like really jump high, so they really drop their torso. When in reality, that's not very beneficial to the jump to get height. So what I always try to tell them is you got to keep your body stacked on top of each other, and you're pushing through the ground through your legs. I mean, everyone knows that, right? So you got to think if you're. I'm trying to think of how I can show this. These are your hips. These are my hips right here, and
Okay.
then this is my torso. It has to be on top. So when I push my hips up, my body will go with it. If my torso is leaning forward, I'm going to push my hips up and it's just going to tip me. And I'm not going to get the max height. I'm going to go more kind of like tipping over sideways rather than going up, if that makes sense at all. So
Yes.
I always try to tell my kids, get your weight into your legs and keep your shoulders above your hips. So that way, when you push off the ground, your shoulders are moving up with your hips. Because we all move from our center body, whether you like it or not. That's how you're going to move from. Yeah. You don't just yank your shoulders up and jump. You're pushing from your legs and I guess like your hips area. So that's one of my main things is making sure that they don't pitch their shoulders forward or lean forward right before their jumps, just to make sure they can get all the way up in the air. And then another thing that kind of goes along with that is jumping up instead of out. So a lot of
Mm.
my dancers, they love to just like go for distance, which sometimes is great depending on exactly what you're doing. Um, but if you really want to get that pop, that air time, you got to focus a lot of your energy on going up, up, up. So that plie's got to bring you down so you can push really high up into the air. The more you go out, that's taking energy away from the up. So those are a couple of things I like to talk about.
I see. So that's really helpful, Jonah, truly. I notice you're really good with the anatomy of the body and teaching your dancers. Notice the anatomy. Like your torso is supposed to do this, your shoulders should not be doing this, and so forth.
Yeah, I
Okay.
really try
Nice.
to. I try to break it down as well as I can for them, so they can really start to see and understand for themselves. So that way, they're not just like in one ear out the other, hoping it gets better, but they're really trying to process the information and understand it. So that way, they can translate it to other aspects of their technique, so they can really start to grow from looking and observing themselves rather than just needing me to correct every little thing.
Yes, you have wonderful dance teaching methods,
Oh,
Jonah.
thank you, thank you,
You
thank you.
do. Is there anything else too? Because we talked a little bit before this about how much you love to teach dance, how proud I am of you, and all of the things. And so I'm curious if you have anything that you'd want to say that would help other dance teachers,
Yeah, for sure. So
help
actually,
other dance teachers to produce nice dancers and healthy dancers.
yes, yes, yes. One of my, I guess I'll start with this. I love dance. Like even my
Yes.
friends that dance know I am crazy about it. I talk about it. I sleep dance. I breathe dance. Eat like just dance everything. Um, I just am obsessed with it. And so one of my favorite things is to see other people that also enjoy dancing or love dancing, and I get to kind of share that passion with them. So that's originally why I started teaching, was just because I loved seeing those kids have those moments where they feel proud of themselves. Dance makes them feel good. It makes them feel happy. They feel like they're included and part of something.
That right there is how you know you should be a dance teacher. That
Oh,
you're right for that. We need
oh,
we need more like you. Yes.
thank you. Yeah, and when I was dancing, I've had a couple friends that spoke of teachers that might not have really encouraged them, or maybe have even like led to them not really enjoying dance that much and making it more of a negative experience. And that's my biggest fear, is to maybe like take away that passion from one of my students because I know how great it is and how much joy it can bring. So first and foremost, that's my main goal is just to make sure everyone's enjoying it, having a great time, and um, really, yeah, just finding joy and loving their passion for dance. That just makes me happier than anything else.
And hearing you talk about it, Jonah, you're so happy and giddy when you talk about dance. It
I
makes me so
know.
happy. I'm sitting here and I'm like, gosh, he loves it so much. He's so passionate for it. And that's just how you know you're in the right place.
Oh,
And
thank
I'm glad to hear that encouragement is a big aspect to being a good
you.
dance teacher.
Yeah, I definitely believe that for sure. When you love something, you're gonna work harder at it. You know,
Good
if
point.
you're having fun, if it brings you joy, it just it's a whole different experience. I love talking about
Goodness.
dance. I could literally talk about dance all day, so I'm having a great time. I have to tell my friends, I'm like, you guys just cut me off. Like when it gets too much, like just tell me. Be like, no more dance, Jonah, and I'll be like, okay, okay, I can calm down.
Oh, well, you can talk about dance all you want on here. So
Oh,
when you're with
I,
me, I'll never cut you off.
sounds good. I love that because it's so fun. It makes me so happy.
Yes, there's a lot of a lot of research on psychological effects of dance and how it's really helped
Hmm.
people with happiness too. No
Yeah,
wonder you're so happy, releasing those endorphins all day.
exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, and so speaking of dance, because we're just always going to talk about that, especially when we're with Jonah. So dance dance major requirements. You majored in dance at Chapman University, which is a really, really impeccable school to major in dance at. It's hard to get into. They have top professionals teaching you, and you then got an agent, Bloc LA, and you danced for Disneyland. You've done a lot, Jonah. You know. And so I'm just curious what it was like for you to major in dance and what maybe the benefits are of it too.
Yeah, of course. I can totally elaborate on that. So, a little backstory for myself. I didn't start dancing until I was 16. So, it's a little bit late in the game. A lot of guys start later, so nothing too crazy, but I just at the point where I was 18, I'd been dancing for 2 years at that point. Definitely not ready to try to just make that jump into the commercial dance world. Definitely, when I started though, when I would turn 16, I just knew, like I knew that dance was it for me. I was
Oh,
dancing like 40 hours a week, like for 2 years straight, because I wanted to be at a level to where I wasn't like not embarrassed, but where I felt confident in myself and my abilities. Starting at 16, I was already a little bit behind, so I had to put in a lot of work to try to catch up, just to where other kids my age were, and I knew I wanted to pursue dance later, and so I was like, well, I better get serious about it. So even when I went to go audition at Chapman, so I was talking to the admissions counselor, and they were like, "Oh, you're auditioning for the dance program." I was like, "Yeah, I am." And she's like, "How long have you been dancing?" And I was like, "Oh, I started 2 years ago." And she's like, "Oh, they usually look for people for more experience. Maybe just the minor would be better." And I was like, "Okay." And then, but I got in, so yay.
I know. Watch
Um,
me dance, then
uh,
tell me that.
that was like, oh, okay. I kind of took it like a challenge. I was like, what bet? I was like, watch. I love that motivation.
Yes. Oh,
So I
yes.
made it into Chapman, luckily, so much fun. I actually double majored in accounting and dance. Um, I knew I've always loved math and accounting, not really crazy in the math, but a lot of memorization about like laws and like the way you account for things. So that's just fun for me, like a little side fun thing. I wanted to do it just because I didn't feel like I was ready to leave behind like math, sciences. It's just something that I've loved like since I was a little kid. So I double majored in that, but definitely put my focus on dance because that is what really fulfilled me. Um, I definitely, like I was saying, at 18, wasn't necessarily ready to just jump into going for the commercial dance route. I didn't really know anyone. I what didn't feel I was at the level to where I was confident enough in myself. So yeah, Chapman was the route I took, and I am so happy. I could not say any. more great things about it. I grew so much as a dancer, as a person, as an artist, definitely as a teacher, for sure at Chapman. And I'm so grateful to all the faculty there that helped me. Some main things that really helped me, and that I think that you might not really find outside of a dance major. I wrote a couple things down just so I don't
Great.
forget anything.
Yes, tell
But
us, tell us.
they just offer so many different classes, obviously. At a very high level too. It's different in a university setting. You have working professionals with a lot of experience under their belts coming in and giving you individualized time. You meet with them one-on-one. You get specialized feedback that really helps you grow. And they're with you for a solid 4 years. That's a long time. They really get to know you. They learn who you are, maybe some weaknesses you have, not only as a dancer, but as a professional, as a student, as a person, and they help you work on those, and they make you the best well-rounded individual that you can be. um, and so I definitely came out better because of that. And I even got a lot of experiences, opportunities from Chapman. I worked with Jackie Slate. She was an adjunct faculty member they brought in, and I took her class. She asked me to come assist her on a convention that she owns. So that was really fun. For a season, I got to fly to different cities assisting her, on stage at different cities every weekend. It was such a great experience. I got to learn from the choreographers that she had on her faculty at the convention, which was an awesome experience. I also got to work with Anaheim Ballet. There's a teacher, Larry Rosenberg, who teaches at Chapman. He saw me there. I took his class and he asked me to come do some shows with them. So I was in my first Nutcracker ever. I performed, did a little tour in Nevada with them. It was a great time. Got to perform with a live was it symphony for the first time. Like it was such a cool experience. And I still do shows with them. And then even through that convention that I went to with Jackie, who I met at Chapman, uh, a choreographer there recommended me for a gig in Shanghai dancing for Cartier. So I got to do that as well, which was such a cool experience. And I'm so grateful to have been able to do that as well. So it opened up a lot of doors that I would not have been I would not even known about, if I didn't have that experience of college and getting that exposure. And not to mention just the friends that you make, the the community of like-minded people that have this passion. It allows you to really improve exponentially. And so I would definitely recommend it to anyone thinking about it. Feel free to hit me up. There's tons of people that went to Chapman. They love talking about it.
It sounds like, Jonah, being a dance major for you at a university opened a lot of opportunities for you,
Mhm.
and ones that you didn't even know existed. And then
Exactly.
those opportunities led to other opportunities.
Mhm.
And then it just keeps going, domino effect.
Yes.
And the fact that you have your people, it sounded like you have your faculty for 4 years and they're here for you and they care truly.
Yes. That's definitely one of the biggest highlights, is just that kind of like, yeah, mentorship, but with multiple people over 4 years. It's a really cool experience, and it helped me a lot, and I know it's helped a lot of my friends a lot. And you come out, the dancers that Chapman's program produces, it's just, they're amazing. And so I'm so lucky to call them like my friends.
Yes, and the friends too. The friendships that you make that will last a lifetime. It's really special to have
Mhm.
people on your side and to go to school for something that you love to do.
Yeah. Yes.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. Thank you so much, Jonah. You have impeccable experience, and I'm so happy that someone like you exists in the dance world and the dance teaching world.
Thank you. Are you kidding me? This is so much fun. And like I said, any chance to talk about dance, I'm there. I'm your guy. But thank you so much. And I think it's so cool that you're doing this and that you're making it so accessible to people to just get this information that's valuable, and just good things for even everyone to hear. I think it's so awesome. So congrats to you. Yay.
Thanks, Jonah.
Yeah,
Truly, that really means a lot. And that's what I'm hoping it does. I just want easy access for people to learn some tips. This was great tips. I cannot wait for people to see this. So thank you, Jonah.
Alrighty, thank you.